Good evening, everyone. My name is Audrey. Thank you so much for joining. Today is day 6 of my 100-day project, and it's 100 days of watercolor mindfulness. And what that basically means is that we're painting without concerning ourselves about the final outcome. We're really trying to focus on the process of painting and really allowing ourselves to enjoy it. So thank you for those who have been joining live and painting with me. Maybe you're painting your own thing, and maybe you're watching the replay and you want to paint what I'm painting, etc. So yeah, this week I've been kind of on this cherry blossom kick. So we're gonna paint another cherry blossom, but instead of a pink one, we're gonna do a white one. So I'm very excited about that because, as you know, painting with white in watercolor is actually kind of tricky. So I'll probably speak a little bit about that as we're painting. But for now, thank you again for joining. Let's start with our breathing exercise. So what I like to do is get into a comfortable position, open up your shoulders and chest, and just, let your shoulders fall naturally. And then I like to have my palms facing up. It's kind of like a posture of surrender and receiving. And then I like to close my eyes and then breathe through my nose. Inhale through my nose for 4 seconds and then exhale through my mouth for 6 seconds. So here we go. All right, why don't I bring us back? So I'm really excited to paint with you tonight. Before we start these painting lessons or painting sessions, not lessons, painting sessions, because we're coming into this session with an attitude of mindfulness, I do want to give you some time to pause and reflect and think about what you're coming into this session with, right? Any burdens, any struggles, any joys, any victories, just anything that you might be coming into this, because that might, affect how you paint or what you paint. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a way for you to kind of unload creatively. As for me, my day was actually very productive. It was one of the most productive that I've had in a really long time, and I was very proud. I even cleaned up my studio. I know you can't really see because all the mess was on this side, which is where the camera doesn't go. But I promise you it is clean. And I did that because my husband and I are going to try to build a new camera rig setup, and it's going to be a huge thing. So yeah, so I felt like I had to do it today, and I was super proud. I even got 2 corporate bookings. I was able to finish a private client's work today. Yeah, I got a lot done. So I felt really good. So I'm coming into this really excited to paint. And again, if that's not where you are, that's okay. We all come from different walks of life. And so if you feel like you just need to paint your own thing today, that's totally cool. I'm just glad you're here with me. So, hello. Hi, Linda. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure there are some others of you out there too. Don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. But let me go ahead and show you what I'm going to be painting today. Here we go. Oh, isn't that so pretty? If you joined me the past couple days, I was really happy to paint backgrounds. Like that was something new that I've discovered. So I'm gonna do the same. And instead of doing pink cherry blossoms, I wanted to do a white one because they are more challenging. And I felt like challenging myself today. So why don't I do that? All right, so let me go ahead and switch to my overhead view. Hello, I'm over here. So if you remember, yeah, I painted this cherry blossom yesterday, and then this was another exploration. And yeah, we've come a long way. It's been 7 days. So that's a week's time, even though it was over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. At this rate, I feel like, am I ever going to get to 100? I have no idea, but that's okay. Slow and steady. This is not a race. Mindfulness is not a race. So let me go ahead and tape off my edges. And I'm using this washi tape. I know yesterday when I used this, it did peel off some of my paper, but you know, it's just a sketchbook. So I'm not gonna cry over it. But I definitely would not use this on my really nice paper. So well, how are you guys doing? Any fun plans for the weekend? I know it's Easter. As for me, like I have we have church service on Friday and Sunday. And then on Saturday, I do have some activities planned. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. I know it's only Wednesday, but I'm like already thinking about the weekend. Well, I guess Wednesday is hump day, right? So you are kind of thinking about the weekend. Linda, I see your comment. Yeah, with the cherry blossoms being white, it reminds you of the apple tree in the side yard of your parents' home. Oh, that's a really nice memory. I love it when photos or art can, yeah, recall memories like that. And I think that's why art is so powerful. And even other experiences like food, right? Remember that scene in Ratatouille where the food critic Ego ate that food and it like instantly transported him back in time. I really feel like creative pursuits like that has the power to do that. So I'm really glad that that photo kind of reminded you of that. I also think that apple blossoms are white, and so that's probably another reason why it reminded you of that. But that's a nice memory. Okay, so I think I'm gonna paint the background second though, because I want to show you how I would paint the flowers. So there's our reference photo again. So when it comes to white flowers, I'll just chat a little bit before I start painting, because once I start painting, it's kind of hard to talk and paint at the same time. But when it comes to white flowers, because in watercolors we don't use the white paint, I know there are some artists out there who do use white. I personally don't. And so in order to have white in your paintings, you need to let the white of the paper show through. So that basically means that we're going to paint all the shadows that you see. So I chose this photo very particularly because on the petals you can see, obviously the shadow parts. And so yeah, I didn't want a really complicated photo like I did last time. I felt like I challenged myself too much last time. I wanted a simpler photo that I could just focus the shadows on. And then after I'm done with that, then I'll paint the background and etc. etc. So yeah, let me at least paint the branch and go from there. So let me just set up my workspace over here because I have my reference photo to my right. Okay. If you guys are ever curious about my supplies, so all of my supplies are from Jerry's Artarama, and they are an art retailer, you know, like Michael's, or Michael's is more like craft and art, but like Blick, and they actually have really competitive prices. So I would highly recommend checking them out, Jerry's Artarama. And you can find the link in the description below. But this journal, I love it. You know, I love that it's double-sided. It's such a cute size, 5.5 inches. My watercolors, it's the Lucas brand. I don't know if you guys can see the name right there, Lukas. And then all the brushes that I'm using are also from Jerry's Artarama, except for this one. This is the Winsor & Newton brand, but these other brushes are all from there. So yeah. All right, where's my water bottle? Okay. I'm just preparing some brown and a little bit of green to paint the stem and leaves, or the branch rather. And I'm using a round size 6 brush. I find that the 6 size is like very comfortable in my hand. You don't have to paint too large or too small. So here we go. Oh, Karen, you have, oh, when you say you love that size, are you referring to the sketchbook size or the brush size? Either way, I'm glad it's not intimidating to you. Oh, the sketchbook. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really like that it's smaller too, because I think when you work with a really large paper size, you feel like you have to fill the entire area, you know? And then because it's so big, you're like, then I don't know how to fill it all the way up. And then, you know, then you start stopping yourself again. And we've talked about that last time too. So, yeah, so when it's a little smaller, I agree. It's not as intimidating. You can even, you know, split this into smaller sections if you wanted to as well. They do have, you know, the same brand, but in different sizes too. They might have even a smaller one. I don't remember. I'll have to check their website, but they definitely have larger sizes. But I feel like the 5.5 was, yeah, perfect for the exact same reason that you mentioned, that it's not intimidating. All right, so I've got my stems done, my branches done for the most part. Okay. So here we go with the petals. So I'm actually gonna mix, this is my kind of hidden secret. I like to mix a gray, especially with this kind of painting. I want to use green in my gray color. So in order to make a really nice green gray, or a gray color with mixing greens, you can either mix a green with a purple or mix a green with a red. And that really depends on, you know, which green and which red and which purple. So you might have to do a little bit of experimenting. And I actually have a class on how to mix watercolor grays. But for me, I know that my dioxazine purple here, which is a really deep purple right there, and then my chromium oxide green, these two mix really nicely to create this gray. I mean, just look at that. Oh, I love it. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm using that same chromium oxide green in my painting, and I'm going to use it in the background. So it's just going to create this color harmony, you know? So anyway, so I'm going to use this, but I'm going to water it down a lot. Hi, Reina. Thanks for joining. Again, if you're new here, don't be shy. You can say hi. Okay. So yeah, I need to water this down a lot. So I'm just adding a lot of water to my palette. Whew. And I take a deep breath before I start painting the flowers. I'm just going to take it one flower at a time and start painting. And you know what? I'll pop on some music so we can paint just kind of on our own for the next couple minutes, okay? I'm just starting on the background now. Rena, I like your enthusiastic comment about music. I didn't realize that. Yeah, if you really like the music and less talking, I'm totally happy to do that. I think some people also just like the interaction as well. So yeah, I'm very happy to. I'll make sure to add some more music next time. How about that? I think for now I only have a couple songs like uploaded, and so that's why you're hearing the same song over and over again. But next time I'll make sure to add some more music for you. So yeah, I'm just adding in the background just by section, because since I didn't do the background first, and I know I could have masked it, I could have done a lot of other things to it, but I don't know. I kind of like this, just going as I want and being very rough and loose with it. So yeah. I'm also not really following the reference photo in terms of the background color, so whatever. Okay. Yeah, Rena, you're saying that, yeah, it's okay to have a little bit of both. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think music definitely helps me focus and, yeah, not feel so pressured to have to fill in the dead space. So I will definitely keep that in mind. I think I just want to do what's, comfortable for you guys too. So it's good to have that feedback. Yeah. So if you're in the same boat, please just let me know. What song was that? It was actually from a royalty-free website called Epidemic Sound, and it's called Sunday Coffee by Rebecca Mardal. I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong. Yeah. So I use all royalty-free music in my videos, and so yeah. All right. Man, I'm really loving this like background plus, foreground subject. I don't know why I didn't explore this more before, but I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but I really love it. Okay. Yeah, I definitely love to play music while I'm painting too. I I definitely like to listen to music that doesn't have any words, because then I start singing along to it and then I get distracted. So I like, smooth, kind of lo-fi type music, so I can just kind of focus on what I'm doing here. I'm going to add a little bit more shadows to my cherry blossoms. And again, it's really cool that you can already see the shape kind of, taking form, but then now that I add the second layer of shadows, it's gonna, be even more obvious. And the only difference between, like botanical style paintings and what I'm doing now is that I'm not really blending. I'm just putting on a second layer of shadow, and I'm not going to blend it. I'm also going to add just a little bit of purple to deepen some of those shadows. And because I use purple to mix this gray, it's going to blend in really nicely. And I'm literally just painting the shapes that I see in approximately the same spots. I feel like I could probably add a little bit more shadows, but I'm gonna go ahead and add the stamen details first and see if that makes the petals really stand out even more. It's like this yellow green color. Just trying to mix that up here. Okay, so I'm using a round size 1 brush now. Here we go. I'm gonna add a little bit of red detail to the tips of those little stamens. Ooh, yeah. See? So, you know, I feel like looking back at this painting, I feel like maybe I could have made the flowers a little bit more white. By that, I just mean like not, you know, not painting so much of the shadows. I mean, I really did try to preserve as much of it as I could, and I used like the lightest gray color possible, but obviously it's not the actual white color of the paper. But you know, again, from far away, right, that looks like, you know, cherry blossoms or apple blossoms, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to add a couple more details. I'll turn on the music again, and then we can end our session. So here we go. Oops. Before we end our session, we always end with, just looking at our work and admiring it. But before we do that, let's do the paint peel. I just really enjoy this process. So, here we go. Whoops, I taped all my pages together. Okay, here we go. So satisfying. So satisfying. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so before we end, just take a moment to admire your work. Again, if you're not done with your painting, that's okay. Just don't forget to do it at the end. One other thing I forgot to mention that I do before I end my painting sessions is actually when I'm washing out my brush, I will actually, as I'm washing out, I'll inhale, just like we did in the beginning. And this is like for the final time, right? Not every single time that I wash out my brush, but for the final time as I'm about to, close my painting session, I will inhale as I wash out, and then I'll exhale as I blot my brush. And then as I set it down, I'm just telling my mind and my body, hey, we're done painting for tonight. Now let's look at what we've done. So I did that for the past couple of days, but I didn't really verbalize it. So I'm verbalizing it now. Anyway, so yeah, let's take a moment and just kind of take in the work that we've painted. Yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I think what I'm really happy about, or like really proud of, is if I can just chat with you guys a little bit longer, is that I'm really excited to try other new things, and one of my goals this year was to learn gouache. And if you don't know what gouache is, it's basically an opaque form of watercolor. So watercolors are transparent, right? So you can put, colors on top of each other and you'll still be able to see the colors underneath. But gouache is opaque. So you can put, the yellow color or white color on top of a dark color and you'll still be able to see that light color. And so it's a different way of working, but in terms of the medium, it kind of still works the same. So that's one of my goals this year. And I even bought like a new palette. I have gouache paints just kind of sitting around and collecting dust. And so this exercise, this 100-day project, is actually giving me a lot of hope, a lot of encouragement to maybe, hopefully, really start my gouache journey very soon. Yeah, thank you for the encouragement, Rena. Yeah. Oh, you've been trying gouache. Yeah, I would love to hear about your journey too. Yeah, so let me know. I have, you know what, maybe I'll just grab the palettes right now. So I have by the Lucas brand, and so this is the same brand that I have the watercolors of, but I have their gouache set. It's like what, 12 colors? 12 colors? Yeah. So I'm really excited about this, and I did buy an extra tube of white because that's what all the gouache artists say. And then I do also have the Holbein brand, and this one I actually have a video about it, and it's gotten like a lot of views, and I was really surprised. But I did do a product review, kind of, not really, on this, and I haven't touched it since. Oh my god, I know, it's so sad, but I have this gouache, and I also have the acrylic gouache. So anyway, circling back to why I brought that up in the first place, it's because I think doing a challenge like this, and if you're doing your own 100-day project, I really want you to kind of check in with yourself, like how are you feeling about how your progress is going? If you're feeling kind of stuck, or if you're experiencing new creative breakthroughs, I think that's where you really need to kind of pause and like see what else you could explore, kind of like ride this momentum and see what else you can do. Like, guys, I really didn't think I was good at like those painting the background and painting flowers thing. I really didn't think I was good at that. And it's taken me 5-6 years to try it, and now I love it. Now I can't stop. And so I know I've only done it 2 days, but I'm really excited to do more of it. So yeah, what new things can you try? And I can't wait to see it. I really can't. So thank you again so much for joining me. If you are still here, and you want to see more, I will be live again next week on Tuesday. Monday is my husband's birthday. So on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll always post on the community tab. So make sure that you're subscribed, that you like this video, and that you hit that bell for notifications so that you'll know when I go live. But yeah, next Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, I believe I'll be going live. So mark your calendars. And if you post on social media and painted along with me or painted your own thing, please tag me at Audrey Raw Design and use the hashtag Paint with Audrey or the 100 Days of Watercolor Mindfulness tag. So thank you again so much. Just reading through some of your comments. You have the dollar roundie gouache. Okay, hardly use it. I know, right? Why do we have art supplies that are just collecting dust? So that's why I feel like this project has helped me to kind of, break out of my comfort shell and do something about it. So very excited. All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter if you celebrate. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.